I've become increasingly interested in this idea of how much output can I get per input unit of time. I'm wanting to just make a video about my increasing interest in this idea of how much change can I actually enact per minute, per hour of time that I input throughout the day. I don't want my time to go to waste. I'll speak about what I used to do a few years back, which was just sort of productivity and working, where it was just really like trying to avoid stuff and procrastinating, and it was just so unproductive. And it was just like, I almost found that I thought I was wasting my time, procrastinating, or like, oh, I've got to do this thing or that and I'll get to it. But I was just wasting my time. It didn't matter what company I worked for, it didn't matter whatever. I was just wasting my time doing not the thing in which I was supposed to be doing. So I can kind of get into that, where a few years ago I was working at an agency, and I remember one week I just like spent myself, 60-hour work week, worked really hard, all this stuff. And I didn't really get a whole lot done. It was like very minimal productivity, but I worked like crazy, and I just could not understand the disconnect between I put in a 60-hour week and I basically feel like and verifiably tell that I didn't really get anything done of actual significance to add progress to objectives or the business goal. So I don't like that. I don't like wasting my time. I want to walk through a couple things that I've personally tried that have seriously helped me output at a greater level. So let's start with the simplest thing that I've done. Going to do work that is kind of uncomfortable from an emotional level. So work that is, okay, maybe I need to have that really hard conversation, or there's something that I don't feel like I'm fully competent on and I'm being delegated out to do it, and maybe I don't fully know, and that's uncomfortable, and it's not something that I'm an expert at or I'm fully skilled at, so I tend to avoid it. I put it off, I'll procrastinate on it. The obstacle, the thing, the constraint, the thing that you don't want to do is most likely the thing that is going to help you get to the other side of where you and your company or your business want to get to. I will take the top, 5 or 10 things that I just don't want to do, the things that I know mentally, logically will help actually make progress in the business, but that I don't emotionally want to do because they're scary, or I don't know how to do them, or whatever the case, the excuse may be. And I write them all out, and then I do sort of the 5 whys, which is you basically question why all the way down. So an example would be, I don't want to create this advertisement. Why? Because I don't think it will work. Why? Because it doesn't use sound fundamentals. Why? Because this is the only assets that we have. Or, whatever that looks like. After I go through these 5 whys, I typically end up finding that I don't want to do a certain task or a certain thing because I don't think it'll work, I don't know enough, and I don't want to be exposed, for not knowing about a certain technical detail. There's a deeper underlying reason why I'm not doing the thing. Then that provides a lot more clarity. I just will avoid some of the really hard things because they're hard, because they're difficult. We're human. And so it's going to be difficult sometimes, but that's honestly the best thing that I've found. Again, I made a video about flow state and things that have helped me get into flow state. One of the biggest things being turning off all music during my work. So I'll link that video below, but that's been a huge help to help me want to do more uncomfortable things, because I haven't been on social media, listened to a ton of music, and my baseline dopamine level is like really high, stays low. I'm a lot more comfortable with going towards more uncomfortable things because my brain doesn't need immediate comfort. One of the other things that I've been implementing is called OKRs, Objectives and Key Results. It comes from a book called Measure What Matters. It's a process that Google has implemented for a long time, has been very effective in their company. Essentially, I'm not going to teach OKRs, but the core thing that they have helped me do is get very, very crystal clear on exactly what I'm going after, how I can measure that goal. So if I know that, like if someone says, oh, I want to grow my business, what the heck does that mean? Like, I want to grow my business. Do you want more followers? Do you want more reach? Do you want more profit? Do you want more, oh, I want all of the above. It's like, I don't know how to help that. It's so ambiguous. It's so unclear. I don't even know how to measure that because it's just this subjective, I want business growth or I want market share. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? And why do you even want that? And so really stress testing and questioning why we want to get to a certain thing. Because if someone wants to get to a certain revenue goal, that's their core objective, that might be from they need validation, they need social validation, and the business will operate that way just because they want the money. And so it really is questioning, okay, why are we getting to that objective? And then once you have a very clear reason for getting to a certain objective, then you can say, let's clarify this and say, here's the goal. Tagline is as measured by that. I need to clarify exactly how I know I'm there. So if I said I want, business growth, okay, that would mean 10% net profit EBITDA. I'm cutting myself a paycheck finally. And then, yada, 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 whatever else it is. That would be very, very clear steps. And so what happens is now all of a sudden the work that you're doing is no longer just in this, it's not even that it's against the infinite game, but there is a very, very clear path forward of I'm at point A, I want to be at point B, and then I know exactly what point B looks like down to the measurables. That has helped me be able to output a lot better because I basically can start saying no to work or meetings that don't align with those objectives. Will I hit it? Yes or no? And so that makes it very clear, rock solid, concrete, so that I know I'm going after the right things. And then that's exciting, that's motivating. That is the incentive that you then start working towards. I found that to be intensely helpful with making sure I'm focused on the right stuff and working really hard in the right direction. So there's no second guessing when I'm working on a Google Sheet that seems boring. I know exactly why I'm working in that Google Sheet to get some data answer that's gonna get us closer directly to that objective. Another thing that I found super helpful, I know this is kind of a buzzword right now, but using AI, or more specifically ChatGPT. The other day I was working on a 10-page brand guidelines document with all the details of the brand, the tone, the voice, the messaging, the type of customer's lifestyle based on some data I had. It took me like a couple hours. Now, is it perfect? Is it everything that a branding agency would create and more? No. But it gives me roughly 60 to 70% of what I'm looking for within a couple hours for $20 a month. So I am very interested to see how AI is going to be used a lot more in the future, because output goes to infinite and input goes down close to zero, whether that's monetary input or whatever, and the output of messaging, of words, of code, of whatever goes basically through the roof. And so that is seriously increasing the amount of output per minute in. Another one is not reinventing the wheel. So one of the things that I've constantly done over the years is try to reinvent the wheel. And I've learned that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And so going back to the fundamentals of the results that you're trying to get, there is most likely someone who's done it before at a very high level in a way that's better than you even thought it was happening at. That information that you're trying to understand how to do your thing better already exists. You just don't know it yet. I work in advertising right now, and so what I'm trying to do actively is look at people who have gone before me, who are advertising and doing ad creative, doing marketing at a way higher level than I currently am, and trying to just absorb the information and understand the patterns of how they do things, because what they're doing is what I'm trying to do, but they're just already doing it at a higher level. And so I don't need to figure it out on my own. I just need to recreate the behaviors that they do and try to understand what they know that helps them output what they output. And so that's something I found, and honestly, just like learning a lot more has been one of the things. Not just reading books and getting fat with brain knowledge and then never using it. Actually saying, okay, I know my objectives, I know the hard things that I need to do, I've got the tools. Now, what don't I know that I actually need to learn that people may already be doing now that I need to take a step back, look around, try to gain some of that insight, talk to other people, try to learn from people who are doing things at a way higher level, and then go back to the task I'm working on and do it at a higher level, because then I know. Now I know and I understand. So I'm just fascinated by this this concept. I think one of the biggest motivators is I don't want to regret having worked on stuff that was maybe meaningless or didn't actually have an impact to the world, or that didn't get anything done and it was just busy work. I had enough busy work in elementary, middle, and high school that I don't care for any more busy work. That just sounds dumb. Having the work that I do directly correlate to the desired outcome that I'm looking for, which is a more fulfilled life. So I hope this was helpful, and let me know in the comments anything you've tried to really increase your output per unit of time input, And I'll respond to all the comments, or try to, as many as I can. And would just love to hear from you guys. Thanks.